What if I told you the real purpose of creativity is not expressing yourself, but that art has a much deeper purpose, and not just in general. Every brushstroke, every melody, every story arc at its core is not about showcasing your talents. No, the purpose of creativity is to love others through your talents. This is the truth you won't hear at art schools, film schools, or dance schools, but this is the truth, and if you want to experience true creative freedom, you need to understand this and incorporate it into your creative life and your creative process. Stay with me right now as we explore why creativity flourishes when we recognize that it is designed to be an act of love. Welcome, I'm Joel Pelsu, President of Arts and Entertainment Ministries, and our passion is helping you as a creative professional to succeed in your creative life while growing deeper in your spiritual walk. Because your creativity and your spirituality are designed by God to work in concert with one another. That's our passion. If that's your passion, take a second, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel and click that bell so you get all of our notifications when we release new content. Oh, and before we jump in, I want to let you know we have online courses for you about your calling as an artist. And we talk about theology and art. We have a course called Catalyst, which teaches you about being an entrepreneur in the art world or entertainment industry. How do you do that and not sell your soul? Do all the marketing, all those challenging things, learn how to grow your business, and honor God at the same time. The links are all down below if you want to check those out. Now, your creativity isn't about you. It's about love. Anything less, your art will fail to have the impact God designed your art to have. Why do I say that creativity is meant to be an act of love? Well, let's consider where your creativity comes from and how unique it is. Cats and dogs don't write music. Monkeys don't write plays or do stand-up comedy. In fact, no other animal comes close to doing what we do. Our creativity is on an entirely different level. Only humanity creates epic films and grand museums and delicate sculptures. What is it that sets us apart? Well, of course, Genesis 1 tells us God created man in his own image. Male and female, he created them. You see, God, whose very nature is to create, always created with intention and purpose. We've all heard these verses, but I want us to focus on a different aspect than we usually do. We talk about this in our Institute and in our Catalyst course. God created this world out of a generous heart. Von Balthasar talks about God forever being giving of himself. And he created us to become generous, to increase in fellowship, and to flourish. It's part of why he made us male and female from the start, because only then could we procreate, produce more living men and women. Always there's a vision of generosity, of love, and of flourishing. Even the Garden of Eden, it wasn't a jungle we had to cut our way through. It was a garden, landscaped, designed, beautiful to the eye. It was a gift and a form of hospitality demonstrated by God for us. You see, once we start to follow this thread of beauty and God's generosity, we start to see we are made in his image with that same impulse to create and that same desire to bless others. God's art was given to us as an act of love. And we're designed to bless others through our art also as an act of love. You may say, well, sure, but we don't live in Eden anymore. We live in a fallen world. Absolutely true. Everything is different. Well, not completely. Think about Jeremiah 29, verses 6 and 7. While the Israelites are living in Babylon after having been captured, how much worse could it get? And after Jerusalem is destroyed, God tells the Israelites something fascinating. He says, seek the welfare of the city where I've sent you into exile, Babylon, and pray to the Lord in its behalf, for in its welfare you will find your welfare. Even in an evil city, God calls us to promote this same vision with our creativity. We are called to seek human flourishing. This includes all types of work, including the arts. We should be creating beautiful garments, home decorations, writing wonderful stories, and creating public parks like those that mimic the Garden of Eden, where all can play and celebrate life. This is what your creativity is meant for, to be a blessing to all who encounter your works of art. You know, art schools can spend years reading deconstructionist philosophers and avant-garde thinkers, but they cannot change the way men and women were designed from the beginning. You see, at the core, you were designed to express yourself in order to bless others, not just express yourself. Now, some artists may say, that's not true. I want to explore my emotions and express my feelings. The audience doesn't matter so much. Well, that's fine, But what makes it art? You see, art is a form of communication. I create a piece of music, I perform it for you, and you respond. Or someone creates a video game, you play it, and you respond. The pattern is always the same because art is a form of communication. If your approach to art is simply to express your inner frustrations or use it as a form of personal therapy, is it really art? Or just something that you do alone? I know this sounds controversial to some, but consider what it takes to be a form of communication. What we create must have a purpose beyond ourselves, and it finds its completion when the audience receives it. If your art is all about you, you have no concern for the audience or the impact on the audience, does it really qualify as art? Is it still a form of communication? Maybe accidentally, but who wants to be an accidental artist? Nobody. We want to be intentional with our creativity, and that means thinking about the impact of our art on our audience. Shakespeare wanted people to understand his plays. Mozart wanted people to be moved by his music. The nature of art is that we want to have an impact upon our audience. This core dynamic confirms the truth that art is not just about personal expression, but about communication with our audience. That's the point. Recently, in one of our weekly devotionals that I email out every week to those who subscribe to our emails, I unpacked what it means to be diligent as an artist. What had struck me was that the word diligent comes from Latin diligere, which means to love. I read about this in a book by Rebecca Conondike DeYoung called Glittering Vices. And what struck me was the impact of this concept. To love well is to be diligent in loving. To love your audience well is to be diligent in your craft. To love your patrons and fans well is to be diligent in your development. To love God is to be diligent in stewarding your time, your talent, your imagination, and your creativity. This is all part of your calling. This means not only your creativity is designed to be an act of love, but also that we should pursue this goal with diligence. Not passively, not kind of half thinking about it, but with great intention. You see, this is the true antithesis to sloth. Passivity and apathy are a failure to love and to love well. And we should remember Jesus' words about the greatest commandments. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And a second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets. All of life, all of the laws depend upon love. How could your art be driven by anything else and still glorify God? You see, the more you think about it, the more you realize creativity was always meant to be an act of love, an act of saying there's more to life than people think, an invitation to savor what is beautiful, a celebration of what is true and good and beautiful, also exposing the evil of injustice and seeking to redeem what is corrupted. It can be exploration of hope emerging from tragedies and beauty that comes from ashes and a life that is full of joy, not because there is no hardship, but because it is meaningful. And if there is purpose and meaning, we can endure hardship. We can survive tragedy and trauma. We can even thrive in the middle of difficult times. We know God is with us. This is what art has the power to do, and this is what art was meant to do. Your art is not meant to be about you, though it will reveal your heart, of course. But your art is designed by God to be about loving others. So let me know in the comments below, is this a new idea? Have you thought of this before? Does this challenge you in the way you think about your career as an artist? Was this helpful? Did it get you thinking in a new way about your talent or your calling? Please let us know. We really want to hear that in the comments and continue the dialogue. And if you enjoyed this, check out our website and our online courses by clicking one of the links down below. And take a second, hit the like and subscribe buttons. And as always, I pray that God blesses you and equips you to be salt and light in a world that desperately needs it. Thank you so much for joining us. Check out another one of our videos right here.